You ever chase a dream, only to wake up and realize it wasn't yours to begin with? That was me with minimalism. I thought cutting back and living with less would bring me happiness, peace, and purpose. But all it did was leave me feeling empty, like I was running in place, doing less, but living less too. Somewhere along the way, I forgot what truly matters: excitement, purpose, and growth. This is the story of how I got it wrong, and what I'm doing now to fix it. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in one way of living that we don't even notice when it stops working for. For me, minimalism was that life goal. I thought I had it all figured out. Fewer distractions, more mental well-being, and less anxiety or depression. Right? But after years of simplifying and cutting down, I started to realize that doing less wasn't bringing me closer to my true goals. Instead, I felt like I was shrinking my potential rather than growing it. As I focused more on my personal development and self-knowledge, it became clear that I needed more. More challenge, more excitement, and more personal growth. Stoicism and philosophies like essentialism emphasize simplicity, but they don't mean abandoning your passions. I started to see that my path to personal success wasn't in cutting back, it was in pushing forward, embracing the discomfort and focusing on growth. And yeah, it took some time to admit I had been wrong. There's this philosophy by Nietzsche about how suffering can lead to strength, and it resonated with me. I had avoided anything that looked like hard work, but I wasn't becoming a better person or improving my social skills. I was just staying in my comfort zone. It wasn't helping my proactivity, and my mental well-being wasn't improving. That realization hit hard, but it also opened the door to something new. I started shifting my focus from avoiding challenges to embracing them. Minimalism, as I had practiced it, was holding me back, and it was time for a change. But this wasn't just about abandoning one philosophy for another. It was about redefining what success really meant to me. So, what does success actually look like when you're not chasing minimalism? For a long time, I thought it was about doing less, fewer things on my to-do list, fewer possessions, fewer commitment. But once I shifted my mindset, I realized that success isn't about avoiding things. It's about diving headfirst into what truly matters to you, even if that means hard work and challenges. Personal development doesn't happen by accident. It takes dedication and focus on growth. I started redefining success in a way that felt truer to me. It wasn't just about mental well-being or self-improvement anymore. It was about passion. The kind of passion that gets you out of bed in the morning and pushes you to be a better person. Stoicism teaches us to embrace discomfort, and I realized that real success often comes from those uncomfortable, difficult moments. I began to see that pushing through the tough stuff is what leads to personal success and growth. Sure, there's still a place for essentialism and simplicity in my life, but now I understand that success isn't about reducing everything to the bare minimum. It's about working towards something meaningful, even if it's hard. I've stopped seeing success as a peaceful, quiet life, and more as a life full of purpose and creation. It's not about reaching the end of the race. It's about enjoying the run, even when it's exhausting. I didn't arrive at this conclusion overnight, though. The journey to redefining success has been a lot of trial and error, learning how to be more confident in my abilities, and figuring out what truly drives me. And that's when I realized something huge about minimalism itself. It's funny how easy it is to adopt ideas that aren't really ours, right? That's exactly what happened to me with minimalism. I got swept up in the whole idea of owning less and simplifying my life because it seemed like everyone else was doing it. I'd read the books, watched the videos, and thought, yeah, this is the key to happiness. But over time, I realized I wasn't really living my own philosophy. Instead, I was following what others told me would bring fulfillment, not what I actually wanted. Minimalism made me feel like I was doing something important by cutting out the non-essential, but deep down, I was ignoring my true desires. It was like I was avoiding the things that gave me excitement in life, all in the name of simplicity. It took some self-knowledge and a hard look at my own mental well-being to admit that maybe I was trying to solve the wrong problems. Simplifying didn't stop my anxiety or make me feel more fulfilled. It just gave me less to work with. When I started looking at self-improvement from a different perspective, I saw how chasing minimalism had been more about fitting into a trend than about what I really needed for personal growth. Essentialism teaches us to focus on what's truly important, and for me, that wasn't just about having fewer things. It was about engaging with the world in a way that was meaningful and brought me personal success. I needed to focus on growth, not just reduction. So I began questioning why I was holding on so tightly to the idea of minimalism. Was I just using it as an excuse to avoid challenges? Or was it a way to sidestep the hard work that comes with truly optimizing your existence? And that's when I realized something bigger. That excitement, the thrill of chasing something bigger than myself, is what I was missing all along. Here's the thing. I started realizing that life without excitement isn't really living. It's just going through the motions, and that's not enough. When I was caught up in minimalism, I lost sight of what truly made me feel alive. I was too focused on having less, doing less, and simplifying everything. But excitement, the kind that gets your heart racing and makes you feel like you're actually growing, is crucial. It's what turns personal development into something you actively enjoy. Excitement is what makes the journey toward your goals worthwhile. It's not just about the end result, whether it's self-improvement, building self-knowledge, or becoming more confident. It's about the process. That feeling you get when you're learning something new, pushing yourself, or trying something that feels just outside your comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. I realized I needed to embrace more of that, instead of hiding behind the safety of doing less. So I started chasing that feeling, and it changed everything. Whether it was tackling a new project, diving deeper into philosophy, Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, or even a bit of existentialism, or just getting more proactive in my day-to-day life, I found that the excitement made all the difference. I wasn't running from anxiety or depression anymore. I was running towards something meaningful, and that excitement gave me a renewed sense of mental well-being and focus on growth. But excitement alone isn't enough. It needs to be paired with purpose. That's what gives it staying power. Once I started seeing how excitement could fuel personal growth, I realized I had to channel it into something bigger, something with meaning, and that's when I started to understand the power of creation and purpose in my life. Once I started chasing excitement, I realized that it wasn't just about feeling alive. It was about creating something, purpose. That's when I shifted my focus toward work, not just as a means to an end, but as a way to provide value to others and grow personally. I stopped seeing work as something to minimize or avoid, and began to embrace it as a key driver of happiness. Personal success, I learned, isn't about early retirement or a life of simplicity. It's about creating, building, and contributing to something bigger than yourself. When you create with purpose, you're not just working for the sake of working. You're building something that matters, whether it's a project, business, or even just improving your social skill. This shift in mindset helped me overcome the burnout that comes from aimless effort. I realized that work, when done with the right intentions, can be a form of self-improvement and personal development. It's not about escaping work, but about finding work that fuels your mental well-being and growth. Philosophies like Stoicism and Essentialism had always talked about living with intention, but I was finally applying those ideas in a way that made sense to me. I began to see how dopamine fasting and even digital detox could help me stay focused on my goals without getting distracted by unnecessary noise. The more I embraced creation as a part of my life's purpose, the more fulfilled I felt. This wasn't about chasing early retirement anymore. It was about optimizing my existence through meaningful work. But here's the kicker. This realization wasn't just about work. It was about my entire approach to life. When you stop trying to minimize everything and start focusing on creating value, you unlock a whole new level of personal growth. And that's when I began to understand how to truly be a better person, by focusing on what I could give, not just what I could take away.